Hi everyone, it's me, Darlene. I am back with a concoction video. I haven't done a concoction in a little over a year at the time that I'm recording this, so I'm very excited to do this. This is for my mother. I'm still carnivore. I'm not eating this stuff. I did have to do a little bit of taste testing at the beginning, but now I've got it down. I don't have to do that anymore. I don't even lick the spoon. It can be addictive. I don't want to go down that path ever again. We're going to be making ice cream, but we're not using heavy whipping cream. My mother loves ice cream, and I never buy it, and I thought, you know, why don't I just see if I can make her something, because she loves frozen treats, even just like ice in a blender and, you know, with some juice or whatever. So I thought, I'm going to look it up. I wanted something without heavy whipping cream because that's expensive here in Maine, and I just don't feel like having that in the refrigerator. And we always have milk, so I looked at different recipes that used milk, and some of them used other things like custard powder, and I had to heat it up. I didn't want to be involved in any of that. I wanted quick, easy, cheap, and no ice cream machine. The only downside to this is you have to wait like 24 hours, but once you're in the swing of it, you'll know. Start a new batch before your other batch is gone. So the ingredients are whole milk is what I used, and you can experiment with any percent fat milk that you want. We're going to need some whipped topping. Non-dairy is what this stuff is, and that's what you want. This really helps it to have a good texture without freezing hard as a rock. I wanted it to freeze hard enough that you can scoop it, not soft serve, but yet I didn't want it to be like that you needed an ice pick, and this is perfect. Then you're going to need sweetened condensed milk. Now, it's cheaper if you buy, you know, the bigger can. It was either $1.64, $1.84, a little under $2. But for one batch this size, you would need just half a can. Or you can check your Dollar Tree, because look, mine has a 7-ounce can of sweetened condensed milk, and you need 7 ounces or half of this 14-ounce can. And so if you want to pick some of those up, you can. I am going to say, don't use that feature. Whoever thought that was a good idea on sweetened condensed milk was wrong. I popped that thinking I was going to be able to take the whole cover off, and then I realized no, it's just a hole there, and I waited forever and it never worked. So open the bottom. 1 cup of milk, 1 cup of whipped topping, and 7 ounces of sweetened condensed milk, or half a can of that, which would be 7 ounces. Let's go start this. I'm going to start by putting the whipped topping in here, and I'm going to work right out of this container. That's what I'm going to freeze it in. So that's what I'm going to work out of. Now I'm going to add the sweetened condensed milk, and I think I will use a knife to get it all out of there. Like I said, this is really inexpensive. Milk is expensive in Maine, like $4 a gallon, but you know, we're only using a cup, so that's cheap. $1 for this little can, and it's under $2 for a big tub of whipped topping, and you probably can make 5 or 6 batches out of that tub. Good enough. And you can use a whisk. I'm using a fork because I'm in this little bowl. And I'm just going to mix these two things. And even if your whipped topping is a little bit frozen, that's okay. And even if there's still some lumps, that's okay too, because we will be mixing this up a little bit as it freezes. Okay, I'm going to add my 1 cup of milk. And we're going to stir that. Oops, I made a mess. If you're making just one batch like this, you know, you need to leave room to add whatever you're going to add to it. I'm probably going to make 3 batches out of this. And I like to let it freeze a little bit before I separate. Now, I don't know what would happen if you just put this in the freezer and leave it all overnight. I think it gets way harder than you'd probably want it to. So what I do is I just make this you know, early in the day, and then I'll go in and stir it a few times. And even if it's like partially frozen, you stir it and it breaks down to liquid again, that's okay. You want to do that, and I'm telling you, it comes out scoopable and so delicious. All right, that's good enough. So I'm going to pop this in the freezer, and I'll check it in a couple of hours, and I'll show you. I did want to mention, I covered this. Don't want to leave it like that because with my luck, it would spill. This has been in the freezer for like maybe 3 hours. So let's see what it looks like. Very liquidy still. You're just going to stir it up a little bit. Now, if you're making just this one batch, and you're not separating it into smaller cups, you can add your base flavors at this point. You could have done it even when it was just all liquid. But what I do is, for instance, the very first one I made for my mother was strawberry. I used strawberry preserves. I put some strawberry preserves in and mixed it up like that. So the ice cream itself kind of got strawberry flavor. But then after it's almost, you know, completely frozen, I just folded some more jelly in just so she'd have some, you know, chunks of preserve and all that stuff. But at this point, I'm going to go ahead and separate this into my 3 containers. And I'm going to add the base of each. I know 2 of the flavors I'm making. I'm still deciding on the 3rd one. All right, let me get the containers. My mother specifically requested cherry ice cream made with maraschino cherries. You could use cherry pie filling, whatever you want. Now, your ice milk is going to melt very fast. Don't worry about that. And it will be hard tomorrow. So I'm going to add some of the juice like that. Stir that in. Then I'm going to add some chopped cherries. She says she wanted some very finely chopped ones to be mixed in with the ice cream. And then when I take them out again later, after they freeze, I'm going to add some bigger chunks. And this, you know, it sinks to the bottom. That's why I'm not bothering with the bigger chunks now. But you can add everything that you want, and then, you know, just leave it even overnight if you want, and then in the morning stir it up, maybe put it back for a little bit. You'll get the hang of it after you experiment a little bit. Okay, so I have 3 containers like this. I can't show you. They're kind of like more than a serving, but that's what I have. And I'm going to put this one in the freezer. The other 2 are in the freezer, just waiting for me. I came up with this idea for her, and she approved. She loves these little chocolate Swiss roll cakes. What I'm going to do is, like, smash one again so I can just mix it right into the ice cream, and then I'll save one to put chunks in after. I really would love to make her one. She wants one with a Milky Way, but I froze a Milky Way and it's just really hard. And I'm afraid with her teeth that if she has something too hard, she could hurt herself. So we're gonna go with soft stuff, but you can do anything you want. All right, I'm going to mash probably a whole one, maybe not. I'll just see as I'm mashing. Be right back. I ended up mashing a whole one just on a cutting board with a fork. So let's mix that in. See, that's going to make little specks of Swiss rolls in there. Okay, that's enough. I'm just gonna go put this one in the freezer, and I have to think of the 3rd flavor. I just want to show you. My mother just asked me, can I have some ice cream? I made her an ice cream sandwich with 2 pieces of chocolate grahams to try. I was hoping that the graham would soften, but it didn't. So what I might do next time is put some grahams in with a slice of bread in a bag and let them soften a little bit. The bread softens them. Bread gets stale, but then you can just give that to the squirrels. And I believe she has orange marmalade ice cream in here. That's what she wanted. She asks for some weird flavors, and I would love to show you all the flavors I've made for her so far, But I'm going to need some views on this video, so share this video if you can. I'd love to get back to concoctions, but not if nobody's going to watch. So share, and if I have enough interest, I'll continue showing you different flavors. And I'm also experimenting right now with Italian ice, which is like a sorbet, non-dairy, and then some sherbet, which is dairy. She just bit into it. She said the graham is soft, and she absolutely loves it. Okay, she has had ice cream with strawberry jelly, with orange marmalade, and now we're going with grape. I have no clue. All right, we're gonna give this a try. I should have a fork. And you can use extracts if you want. She has quite a list of flavors that she wants me to try. I think I'm just going to put a bunch of this in there, as you can see. All right, I'm just going to freeze these again. I will check them again tonight. And I might wait until tomorrow to add the final touches. And every time you stir it, it can get liquidy like that. But don't worry about it. I promise you it will be ice cream the next day. I just took one out. Probably another 3 hours has passed. And you can see that the stuff settles on the bottom. So I want to mix that up again before it gets too hard. And this is the cookies, not cookies and cream, the Swiss roll. So I chopped one up in big pieces, and my goal is to just kind of fold them in. Look at that. But see, I want to mix this up a little bit, but I don't want to keep it out too long because I don't want it to get all liquid. So let's just start folding this in. Do a few like that. I think she's gonna like this one. I don't want to break those up too much. And you know, I edited the first part, and I was like stirring this shit for so long because I'm recording and I'm talking to you. You don't have to mix it for a long time. That has nothing to do with it. Okay. My hand is very clean. I washed it yesterday. I'm not licking any of this. I am putting this back in the freezer. Next one. I'm so confused. This has to be the cherry because it looks pinkish, and I'm pretty sure that what I just mixed the snack cake into was the snack cake one. But look at this, it looks like chocolate, but that has to be the grape, doesn't it? It has to be. Yeah, I guess I can tell it looks a little bit like jelly. I don't know. I'm putting this back in the fridge. I meant in the freezer. Okay, let's do this one. And again, there are some cherry pieces on the bottom. And this one's a little creamier, probably because of the cherry juice, but it still should freeze up good. If you ever make a batch and it's like really too hard, add some more whipped topping to it. Let it get soft. Okay, so see, I cut up some big pieces of cherry now. That's a lot of cherries. See, this one wants to melt quick. That's it. That's all I'm mixing for now. In the freezer. Now this one, I don't think I'm going to add anything else to it. I'm just going to mix that jelly in. God, that looks terrible. I do want to show you some other flavors that I've already made. These, like I said, experimenting with these. I bet it'll be good. I don't care if that breaks up, and I don't care if it gets very soft again. We'll mix that in, going in the freezer. And I will show you these tomorrow now. I'm just going to leave these in overnight. I'm not going to bother touching them again. The time has come. It is the next day, and I did stir this one more time before I went to bed. I stirred all three of them. I'm going to start with what I would think would be my absolute least favorite ice cream of all time. I know I keep calling it ice cream. It's ice milk, but I'm going to say ice cream. This is the grape. Doesn't look as hard as Ooh, it is. Look at this. Nice, scoopable ice cream. I'm going to sniff it. Smells like absolutely nothing. I'm going to have my mother taste it. I'll tell you what she says. All right, she loved it. She wanted to keep it. I said, no, you have two others to taste. I don't want you to fill up on this one. I'm doing the Swiss roll cakes, and I broke up a lot of the chunks while stirring, but hey, that's the way it goes. Ooh, it feels nice and hard, yet scoopable. This stuff does melt fairly quick, though. Look at that. Does that not look completely awesome? Awesome. And there's some nice chunks in there. Okay, she's going to have to taste this one now. All right, this was a huge hit. She made an expression like she was entering heaven. And no, I don't record her. She doesn't want to be on camera. Okay, let's do the grand finale, which is the cherry, which is the one I think she will like the best. When I stirred this one last night, I was like embarrassed at how many cherries I put in there. Looks good. Ooh, super scoopable. Look at that. It is beautiful. Now, I could have put nuts in there for her and, you know, all kinds of different things. I don't know why I'm wanting to show you more. I will be making more flavors if there's enough interest. She has to taste this one. Her absolute favorite, I thought it would be, she said I could win a prize for this one. So I hope you guys give it a try. And please, I made it look like way more time-consuming and difficult than it is. You mix the three ingredients. You can add your base right away if you want. But if you have something with big chunks like the cake, something that could fall apart, I would wait till it's partially frozen to add those big chunks so they don't just all break apart. Stir them as many times as you want. It helps to stir because it just gets the consistency the way you want it to be. It doesn't crystallize and it doesn't get hard as a rock, and it will freeze up. I promise. Look, you're gonna have stuff like this. I will be back with more flavors, and I will be back with different bases in case you don't have sweetened condensed milk or don't want to use that. Subscribe. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.